so far. 9 people. Yo, Houston guy, what is going on? Peso, hello. Greeting from Palm Desert, California. Hey, CJ, Philip, how are you? Andre, hello from Boston. John, how are you? Clint, Susie Q, David Van, what is going up, man? What is going on? Not up. Jake, how are you? Greeley, Colorado. Jenny W. How are you doing? Judy, so long. I haven't seen you in such a long time. What's going on? Now it's moving too fast. Daniel, Andrew, non-traditional tech. Looking skinny. I am getting skinnier all the time. Telling you guys, not selling you anything, and I'm not some kind of fitness person. Getting rid of sugar is shrunk me down. My clothes, I've got to get new t-shirts and stuff. Saad Ali, thank you very much. This stream got really little busy right now. 95 already. Cray, thank you very much. Mary L. Lisa, how is everyone? St. Petersburg, Florida. We were just talking about St. Petersburg. Well, actually Tampa and the area around there. Louisville, huh? Thank you, Marion. Louisville, Kentucky. Henderson, Nevada. How are you, Thomas? Red Wing Man. Susie Q, I'm telling you. So this is the thing with, this isn't a fitness channel, but I'm going to explain it to you. I just quit sugar. It's hard. I love a good cupcake or whatever, and you'll have these cravings, but once you get past the cravings, it's pretty easy. And the cravings for me last about 3 days. Occasionally I'll want something sweet, but I just got off it, and now I'm shrinking. Rob, thanks. Greg Bartle Bailey, how are you? Rob Michael Lowe. Elvis Diaz. New Jersey, thanks. I think that's Juanita's Creative Corner. I do live streams occasionally, not as much as I probably should. I kind of moved them over to my other channel, my vlogging channel, but sometimes I still like to do them on here. I have this paranoia or this conspiracy theory that the live streams actually hurt my channel, because every time I do too many of them, my views start dropping. I mean, the first thing is a lot of people don't know I'm a little bit older, and so when they see that for some reason, it's usually, I'm sure, 20-year-old kids or 19-year-old kids, they see that I'm a little bit older, and they unsubscribe. Okay, that's their thing. My son had a good point, though. If they're unsubscribing because of that, they're probably not into your channel anyway. Anyway, so yeah, I do them occasionally. Not as much as I should, though. But it is a new thing that YouTube is pushing the hell out of, and this is my business, and I like to do what YouTube is pushing, so hopefully my business will do better. On top of it, I like to talk, so I probably should do more. Thanks, V. Tucson. You're from India, and you live in the U.S. I read an article about how, I forget how many it was, but it was like 78% of the Indians that moved to the United States are male. Yeah, I like to talk, Rob. Imagine that. Yeah, the generational division has gotten bad. You're a male? Yeah. Do you see that, Peso? Washington. That's one of my older ones, David. How about them Browns? Oh my God, don't even get me started. Horrible. I don't know. I don't want to get into football talk, but I was a big Baker Mayfield fan. He had a bad season. I mean, he made some mistakes, but I still think he should have stayed. Hey, Joe Flann, how are you? Hey, Solo Road, thank you very much. You even get the first one of these. Did that work? There you go. Blueberry, no. I'm not from the Midwest, but when I was a kid, every single Halloween, my mom would buy me all of those cereals, and I looked forward to it, and I loved them. And my mom died in '97. My wife hasn't missed a beat. She still buys more, and now I'm off chocolate, so I don't know how that's going to work. Or I'm off sugar. I'm not sure how that's going to work next year. What's the topic tonight? The topic, we haven't come up with one yet, but we'll start talking about something in a minute. Happy Saturday, Hermens Outdoors. How are you? If you guys have not seen Hermens Outdoors, you need to go check it out. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm trying to get his channel to take off. It's about fishing and outdoor stuff. If that is your thing, you definitely need to go over there. Judy, Menzel, I agree. Boring is what you make of it. Yeah. I had a best teacher I ever had, Mr. Picard, Robert Picard. Best teacher. I mean, if you talk to anyone from my high school, he sadly has passed, but if you talk to anyone, he's the absolute best teacher they've ever had in their life. Anyone that experiences, man, he was great. And he said one thing one time during the class. He goes, "I've never been bored. I'm sad when the day's over." He goes, "I always find something to do. I've never sat there and been bored." So boredom is what you make of it. But yeah, if you do come from a place that's got some nightlife and stuff like that, you know, Iowa, Kansas, and all that, not going to be your thing. Briggs, cruise lines from China are bankrupt at risk of having their ships repossessed by the U.S. government for not paying their gas bills. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a problem going. I think I could be wrong. I think it might be Crystal Cruises. No, I don't think Crystal Cruises. Maybe it is. So one of them basically was sailing with customers back to Florida. And Judy, again, thank you very much. You know I love the color orange. And hit that like button, everyone. There's one for Judy. Judy's one of our favorites. Did that work? There you go. But yeah, so they're heading back to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, I believe, and they found out that they owed a big tax bill and their corporation didn't pay it. So they were going to have their ship repossessed. So they just turned around and went back to like the Bahamas, told everyone to fly home from there. So yeah, they got some serious problems right now with a lot of these cruise ships. All right, we got a lot of people in the chat, guys. I'm sorry, I know I'm missing a bunch of things. This is the worst traffic: L.A., New York, Houston, Phoenix. L.A. probably has the worst traffic in the world right now. That's my opinion. But a lot of people do say Boston and San Francisco are really, really bad. What are my thoughts on Houston? Houston's a nice place. What's your views on Chicago politics? Oh, so I started saying Mississippi. I don't hate Mississippi. Actually, my biological father and my brothers and sister, they're all from Mississippi. And I used to spend a lot of summers out there on the Chunky River, not too far from Meridian, Mississippi. My problem is that state has been one of the worst in poverty since, I don't know, before the Civil War. And they've never gotten out of it. They've always been Mississippi. There's a saying for states, you know, it doesn't matter if you got something wrong, you're still beating Mississippi. And that's not the people. That's actually kind of is, because who are you electing? The politicians don't do enough there. They haven't made the right moves, and I'm talking for decades. And that's why Mississippi is considered a really horrible state. I mean, they lead the country in poverty most every single year. Oreo Films, thank you very much, Briggs. If you and your wife can retire, live in Mexico, where would it be? Also, familiar with travels on YouTube. I'm not familiar with them, but I'm going to look them up right now. You know, I wouldn't retire in Mexico. That's just my opinion. If I was going to, it'd be somewhere near the Yucatan Peninsula, somewhere in there. That's my favorite part of Mexico. But I don't like the heat. Tangerine Travels. This guy looks familiar. Hold on one second, guys. I think I've seen this guy before. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I don't know much about him. I think I may have glanced at one of his videos before. Lady Dimples Briggs, I like your channel. Very good videos. The thumbnail from day looked like you were going to do. Really, his girlfriend's now. That's that there's a backstory to that video, but and that thumbnail, but I won't get into it. Will Ukraine recover? I'm sure it will. James, my local gas station was three. Um, do the taxes taken off for 30 days? Nice. See, what state are you in? The OC? Are you in California? The OC? No, probably not. Lady Bree, who did you pick for your Final Four NCAA men's? Gonzaga every year. I just hope. Maryland. Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of states right now, because of that thing, gave what they call a tax holiday on a lot of fuels. What's up with Salt Lake City? I'd live in PA before Virginia myself. Gresham, Oregon, or Eugene? Eugene. Definitely. Okay, we're moving pretty fast. Got 261 people in here. It's moving pretty fast. So, like I always say, I apologize if I miss your comments, but it moves pretty fast for me. So, and I don't want to have to delay it for like 30 seconds, and then that just irritates people. Do you think San Francisco homeless problem will get worse or better? It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Matter of fact, a lot of these places are getting a lot better right now. Honesdale is still one of my favorite small towns. I don't know if it's my favorite still, but yeah, I really like Honesdale. Honesdale probably is still what I think is the best small town in the United States right now. And does it have the best tourist things? No, but it does have housing, good people, good land, all the things you're looking for. You might be able to find other places. I just like Honesdale a lot. There's something I was going to read here. Oh, as far as the homeless situation, so probably about. By the way, I keep putting Neosporin on my leg. I sliced up my leg today. But anyway, that's another story. So, the homeless situation in San Francisco will get better. A lot of cities are getting better. If you drive around Portland right now, it's a noticeable difference. It's gotten better in the last 4 or 5 months. I don't know what program they've got going that are chasing people out or whatever. You're just not seeing as many as downtown. Is there still a problem? 100% there's still a problem. It's just better than it was 4 months ago. When I took the train just this last weekend through Eugene, it was so much better than a year ago when I went through there. Just the tents. Now, that's all I'm going off of. I don't know if they've just moved them someplace else, but what I'm seeing in the different places and in Los Angeles when I was there, it definitely looks better. And that's something I notice and I pay attention to. When, oh my God, it'll be on my video. When I took the Uber to the train station on, I guess, Monday, we drove around. I asked the guy to drive around. We drove around. Now, when I was there a year ago in Los Angeles, there were these streets where there was 10 tents on each street, each corner. I went through there 3 or 4 in a little 3-block area. They're still homeless on the streets, but they're just not lined up on every single street right now in Los Angeles. So it's gotten better, in my opinion. My nose is itchy. Clem Fandango. Old Town Portland looks like terrible by Union Station. Yeah, it's not the best, but it's still not the worst. There's definitely worse. Best paying factories, tech, not tech. That could be a good, Judy, that could be a good video. Hope you read this. Thanks. Let me see. Would you still update your top 10 best cities for families and similar videos? Hope you can read this. Yeah, we just did one not too long ago. Best places for families. When did I do that? Not too long. Let me see. Could have swore I did something like that just recently. Oh, 10 states for families. Top 10 states for families. I just did that. Let me pull it up for you here. And this video didn't do that good. Bummed me out. So I'm not surprised you don't know about it. There we go. Oh, hey, Ryan Dyer. Thank you very much. They cleared people out of LA for the Super Bowl. Yeah, but they haven't been back yet, and the Super Bowl's been a couple months. So I know they were doing that. Leaving PDX for Pennsylvania can actually afford a house, and people are nicer. Yeah, I'd say so. So downtown Portland, you got some issues. Oregon people, in my opinion, are some of the nicest people I've ever come across. Casper or Cheyenne? I like Cheyenne, to tell you the truth. Out of the two that I've been to. I've only been to Casper once. Cheyenne I've been to like 3 or 4 times, and I like Cheyenne. What happened to Connor? Let me see. Connor. My therapist died from cancer last week. That sucks. That's too bad. Especially because you build a relationship with the therapist and now they're gone. Like losing a family member in some cases. Which makes me think of 30 Rock. Liz Lemon, she's all, what did she say? She's talking to Jack on the phone. He calls her, hey, Lemon, how have you been? And she goes, oh, I've had the worst time. I've had 3. She goes, my gynecologist took their own life or something like that. So this is like the 3rd one. Hysterical. Atlanta is getting expensive. There's no slowing that down. Ever been to Ticonderoga? No, I love their pencils though. So, Danny, we did a video not too long ago about best lake towns and stuff like that. It's been 2 years probably. And that's one river places and on the water, best places to live on the water. And it's something we've looked at. We haven't pulled the trigger on it. You ever been to Johnstown? PA, yes, I have. Duluth is better than St. Paul. Yeah, I'd say so. I like Duluth. Duluth's a nice place to live in general. Thoughts on Oakland, California? Oakland, it's got its rough spots, but it's also got its really nice spots. And I think the biggest problem it has is dealing with the reputation it had in the 1990s. Now, by no stretch of the imagination is Oakland some great place to live right now, but it's not half as bad as people think it is. Lake Show, how are you doing? Aaron, you are now a super fan. Thank you very much for becoming a super fan. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. You get one of these. What else do I have? Let's see what this one is. I forgot. I programmed these a while ago. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. Quebec or Vancouver? I like Vancouver. I like the west side of this country and Canada. Yeah, that's too bad about the whole Baker Mayfield thing. I'm kind of bummed about that. What YouTube channels do I like or recommend? Well, there's a few that I watch on a regular basis. I like Philip DeFranco. Watch him all the time. I watch a lot of cruise videos now. Like ECC or EECC Travels. I watch them all the time. Dawn's Family Vacation. I watch that. La Vida Loca. I watch those all the time. David Rish, what is going on? Brett, I'm doing good. Tammy Gibson, thank you for supporting the channel. You get one of these. Congratulations. Are you guys hearing that applause when I do that? Or am I just hitting buttons and no one's hearing anything? But Tammy, thank you for supporting the channel. Really appreciate that. Hey, JBX, thank you for supporting the channel. Do you think Texas is still a good place to move to? Yes, I do. And you get an applause also. No, I cannot hear it, barely. Okay. No. Very quiet. Okay. Only hearing my sultry voice. Thank you. Damn. So I have these neat things. Hold on a second. This is what they sound like. We cannot hear the applause. I gotta figure out what's going on with those. What is going on with those? They're supposed to be working. Damn it. I don't know why that's not popping up like that, though. Oh well. One of these days, I'm going to get this whole thing together and I'm going to shock the crap out of all of you. My favorite song, Holocene by Bon Iver. I prefer South Carolina, Charleston, the Low Country, basically. Rachel, how are you? Then Jason, if it's boring, don't hang out. Don't want to sound rude, but if it's boring, you know. Norfolk Southern. I don't know. Would I ever consider moving to a town offering free land? If I couldn't afford land, yeah, I absolutely would. Uh, Usually, though, my experience is if you're going to live there, great. If you're looking at it as an investment, I don't think so. Because if they're handing it away, if they're handing it out for free, chances are it's not going to be worth much in 20 or 30 years either. So, it's like, what's the point? Chicago affordable because everyone's leaving. That usually takes a little bit of time to catch up with something. So if people start moving out 4 or 5 years later down the road, you're going to see prices start dropping. But it takes a while for enough people to move out. And plus, Chicago's they're a little bit, so they're in the situation like Los Angeles. A lot of people are moving out, but they still have, they're almost breaking even with the amount of people moving in, I should say. Los Angeles is still gaining, even though longtime residents are moving out. Let me see. Sorry about this, Daniel. I missed this. Danilo? Sorry. New York gets worse to live. What do you think is going to happen with this state? Thanks. It's going to keep going. New York is right now at a really weird thing because, especially New York City, kind of like Chicago we were just talking about, this is the first time in their history, and I'm talking since like the late or early 1800s, that they're actually losing people in that state. This state has never lost people in any census, so they're at a weird spot. So we'll see how that works out. Where's the best place to retire? That's all up to you. Depends on what you want. But right now, I'd say if you're trying to save money, the South. Find some place in the South that's still kind of warm. South Carolina is a good choice for that. Maybe the Panhandle of Florida, Mississippi. It's got a lot of really cool small towns that you can move to that are dirt cheap. If you got money, obviously it's going to be Hawaii, something like that. Or if you like the cold, definitely someplace near Seattle. Briggs, do you think the gas crisis will get much worse? No, it's getting better already. You've been incredibly informative and keep very apolitical, which is refreshing today in the internet climate. Thanks, Ron. Which reminds me of that Keenan and Peele skit. Thank you very much. So when it comes to politics, this is how I see it. I have my views, and other people have their views. I don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. So you kind of have to keep it in the middle because, I might be totally wrong. Someone else might be totally wrong on their views. None of us have all the answers, so, just kind of got to stay in neutral on it most of the time. It almost does no good these days to discuss politics with someone because most people are set in their ways and there's nothing you could say is going to change their mind and they don't want you to change their mind. So just what's the point? Briggs, do you think Los Angeles is now more homeless than Honolulu? Oh, absolutely. Los Angeles has 10 times more than Honolulu. Now, if you're talking rate, no, probably not much. Honolulu probably has more if you're talking about, they have like 50 for every 1,000 residents, something like that. I don't know the exact numbers. Los Angeles has so many freaking people, that's easy to pull off, that they could have a low rate. But as far as people, I mean, they got more people homeless on Skid Row than probably all of Hawaii has. Juicy, Judy, thank you very much again. Let me see if I can get this to happen. Okay, one of these days I'll get those things working too. Thanks, James. I appreciate that. Oh, Lexi, you out of here? Good night. Drive safe. Oh, going to bed. Oh, you're not driving tonight. Thank God. Being priced out of the housing. Da, 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 da. Okay, I'm falling behind here. Exactly. Most wildlife, Florida, Alaska. Alaska, by far. I mean, the Everglades give them a good run for their money, but Alaska is huge, and a lot of it is unspoiled land. Tennessee or Missouri? That's a tough one. I might, if I was going the southern section, near Lake of the Ozarks and all that, I might choose Missouri, but if it wasn't for that, I'd choose Tennessee. Thank you, Fred. Virgil Flowers, what are you talking about? Briggs was the original. Original what? Did I miss something? Oh, okay. What's the deal with your channel and Nick Johnson's channel? A lot of similarities, including home base, but yours seems to be cheer optimistic. Nick has his own style of doing things, and as far as home base, I mean, Nick grew up in Southern California like I did. He's much younger than me, and I think he lives in the Carolinas someplace, and I'm in Oregon, so I'm not sure about the home base thing. But, yeah, he's just got a different way of doing things than I do. Nick's a good guy. I actually was texting him earlier. Are you bald by force or choice? By choice. I have a full head of hair. That's a full head of hair. It's just very gray at this point. I started going gray when I was like 25, so it's not as much of an old man thing as it's just me. How do I come up with the livability score? Well, there's a... So I don't... So since there's a lot of people that copy basically what me and Nick do, a lot of times we don't discuss how we come up with our numbers and where we get them. But there is a website that I go to that will give a livability score or a quality of life score for different cities, towns, states, whatever. Basically, I don't want to make it easy for people to replace me. Well, thanks, Jess. Jess, how are you doing? Did your friend move away yet? Did you ever do radio? As in work it? I've been on the radio several times. I've never worked a radio show. I did get offered one time, but it just wasn't my thing. I had this going on. Airport sucks. No 5G allowed. Briggs, you look 5 years younger than me, and I'm approaching 50. Well, I'm about 5 years older than you if you're approaching 50. How did I end up with a pig? Good story. So my son's ex-girlfriend was living here. She had a friend that had to get rid of her mini pig that was about this big. And my wife doesn't like to hear about people having to surrender animals. So my wife's like, we got room. Let's get this mini pig. And I was like, I don't know about getting a mini pig. And I was not on board with it. But my wife wanted it, so we get this mini pig without doing any research. After we get the pig, we find out there's no such thing as a mini pig. If someone says mini pig, that's like saying a puppy. That's just a baby pig. And now I have like a 150-pound pig in my house that I didn't want. I'm from the beach. I grew up 3 blocks off the beach. I'm not a dude that should have a pig, but we love her, so we're keeping her. Hey, BK Kid, thank you very much. Love your videos, Mississippi. Good Latinos do move out in New York City but now Atlanta, Either Dallas or Houston. I'd go to Dallas before I went to Houston. Oh, Curitiba, Brazil. One of the guys I used to do jujitsu with was from there. Not Brazil, from Curitiba. Curitiba, I can't even say it right. What do you think? Why do I think more people see themselves as liberal? I mean, you're going to gather your political views by what you're surrounded by. More and more people are going to universities and colleges, and right or wrong, I'm not getting into that, but people tend to come out of college as liberals. And these days, more kids are going to college than, let's say, my generation and the generation before me. So you're starting to see more of a, I know they want to call it indoctrination, or whatever they want to say, but it's really just they're starting to see things from different angles instead of, that's the biggest problem. They start to think for themselves and not just accept, which, you know, growing up, we just took whatever the news told us as, okay, that's just the fact. Well, you start going to college as the millennials did and stuff, and they start going, hold on a second, maybe you should start questioning these things. So they start questioning a lot of things that used to, I'm getting too deep into it. I don't want to, but a lot of it has to do with college. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying it at all. States with the best pizza. No, it's going to be New York or Chicago, one or the other. So, as far as the woke thing, it's one thing to be, socially conscious. That's fine. But like I always say, being offended is not a skill. I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people these days. They're just offended. Now, this isn't political. This is just about anything. They're offended because that's how they validate themselves. So, I mean, sure, if you're a racist or throwing out slurs about people and just a piece of garbage human being, that's one thing. People should be offended by you. But when you're actually searching for things people said to be offended, I think that's what a lot of the problem is with a lot of the Generation Z or whatever they are. That's my opinion. I'm an old dude. Who knows? Sanders, thanks for hanking out. Thanks for hanging out. That's our new thing. Hang out with us. Gary, Indiana, or Pine Bluff? Ooh, that's a tough choice. I'd stay out of Pine Bluff, though. If I only had those two choices, I would take Gary, Indiana. Let's hank out, everyone. Hey, Hillsboro, Paul, how are you? Best states to visit as an exchange student? Solid question. I would say Wisconsin, Minnesota, maybe, Oregon, and Colorado. Make a town. Oh, that is one we have on the books. Affordable college towns. We haven't. It's one of our ideas. We have this big list of ideas, and that's one of them that's on there. We just haven't researched it yet. Best state for beaches. That's going to be a preference. In my opinion, it's going to be Southern California or Hawaii. Other people will argue that Florida has the best beaches. Seattle, Charlotte, or Austin? I'd stay in Seattle because I like the cold, but I think a lot of people would choose Charlotte over any of them. Most wet state? It's going to be Oregon or Washington. Briggs, there are 8 cities and 8 states named Briggs in America. Really? I did not even know that. Jackson, Mississippi, or Baton Rouge? Another one. You're asking me these tough ones. Those two both suck, so I don't know. Baton Rouge probably. It's got a little more history. It's a little more under control in the downtown area. I should go to all the Briggs cities. There's a Briggs Road not too far from my house. I've taken a picture in front of it before. Salt Lake City. I'd take Denver before that. Best woke state. I don't even know. States with the best restaurants. Again, that's going to be your choice. A lot of people I know think San Francisco has one of the best food scenes there is, and I'm not talking, you know, anything weird. They just have some of the best food. But in my opinion, I think it's going to be Chicago. Get your Briggs on. I go Oregon still, or no? I still love Oregon. I mean, it's got some problems, especially downtown Portland, but a majority of the state is a beautiful state, wonderful state, great people. It's just some of their cities have some problems. Are you talking the country of Lebanon or the city? I've never visited the country of Lebanon. Someone said Chicago. Yep. Oh, there's town. Cool. In Scotland too, huh? Loved your weather videos. Discovering new places, mild climates. Oh yes. Where else would I move to? I really want to live in Point Roberts, Washington, which is right up there near Canada. If it wasn't there and I wasn't going to stay in Oregon, I'd probably move to Pennsylvania. I actually sell T-shirts that say "Be nice to each other." Thoughts on upstate New York? It's got some good places. I have some family that live up there, in like Rochester and stuff. My son was up there at Fort Drum for a while. Yeah, I mean he liked it until it turned into winter. I wanted to go last year for a Cleveland Browns game. Actually, I wanted to do a couple, but yeah, COVID was still going, so I thought I'd put it off. And so this year, I'm definitely going out for at least one game. These are the cereal monsters. I ordered it. I think Amazon. I got the cereal, and I'm all, I'd like a T-shirt like that, and I looked it up, and there they were. Story, Oregon. Yeah, it's okay, Matthew. The story's all right. What part of PA would you move to? Any of the rural parts, and probably the northeast section of Pennsylvania. I just like that whole Honesdale and Lake Wallenpaupack area, Wayne County, basically. Yeah, I've never been to Lebanon. I haven't been to Honesdale in about a year. Pittsburgh. Start your day off with mostly sugar. That's about it. There's even Briggs Corner in Providence, New Brunswick. Oh, really? There was a place in, God, I want to say, I forget what it was. Anyway, it's on the eastern side of Canada, and I looked at their Wikipedia page, and all it said was, it listed a couple things like, maybe 4 lines about this town, and then it said it has a beach. Well, genius. Well, someone called me from there, or emailed me from there, and sent me a bunch of pictures of their little town and their beach, and told me I should do a more detailed video on that. I was like, I don't know. Well, thank you. I love you back. Best dates for minorities. Thoughts? Ooh, Mohammed, it's probably gonna be places like Minnesota, which is, I hate the word tolerant because it makes it sound like people are being forced to tolerate someone, which isn't the thing. You just won't run into more garbage in Minnesota, Oregon, for that matter, at least the western side of it. Oddly enough, which stereotypically you wouldn't expect it, but Texas is very good when it comes to minorities or anything like that. I don't know what it is, because you just think, and you're raised to think that states around there might have problems with minorities. Texas is one of the states I've never seen any problems in, and most people say, yeah, they're very, very low key about everything. I travel all the time for my videos. What are my thoughts on New Hampshire? I like New Hampshire. I like Vermont a little bit better, but they're very similar states. Briggs, very serious question. Hard. Oh, soft tacos. Don't dig hard tacos. What will America look like in 100 years? I'd say less cars. Less cars, and I honestly think it's going to go to the point where a lot of these small towns have turned into bigger towns and the cities become a lot more vacant. And I'd say that's going to be within the next 20 years. Maybe in 100 years, it'll rotate back to how it is now. More people live in the cities. But I honestly think small towns are going to be sprinkled with a few more people each and less people in the cities. Only dentists like hard tacos. I got to go to the dentist. I talked about this. Yeah, Nick did a couple videos on ghetto states. I was doing jujitsu with my son. He squeezed my head and cracked my tooth in half. And I keep making appointments I got to get the thing screwed in there and put in there. And every time I do, something comes up and I got to cancel the appointment. It's been like a year now. Most of it's canceled because of COVID, but still. Now I'm talking about my dental work because someone said dentist. Yeah, Nick does drive through some pretty scary ghettos sometimes. Teeth are super important. Especially, I've been smacked in the face with a rifle, almost lost. This whole part of my jaw was crushed one time. Not Sal, where you live. How did I learn about Point Roberts? I was with a friend, and he was telling me about it, and then I just started researching, and I kind of dug the place. Best city in Georgia? Good question. I don't know if me and Nick have collabed, but I've been on a couple of his videos. He does sometimes the split screen and talks to people about places, and when he's done things on Portland, he talks to me, usually. Combat, yes. Best city in Virginia. Ooh, that's a good one. There's a couple I like. I like the Newport News area out there, though. Thoughts on Fort Collins? Think about moving there. There's a hell of a lot worse places to move to. Savannah's a great city, Matthew. But Fort Collins is not bad. It's a great place to live. Boulder, I like a little bit better, but Fort Collins ain't bad. Sound like such a nice fella. Would you take a long train trip? Oh, yeah, I've taken several long train trips. So I one time decided I was going to just go around the country on the train. So I got on in Portland, went to Chicago, got on in Chicago, and took they call it the Southwest Chief, all the way down to Los Angeles. And then I was planning on going up, taking the Coast Starlight, back up to California, do this little loop. Well, that's the time we hit the kid. So that set me back. And then, 4 or 5 hours before we got rolling again. And then when I got on the Southwest Chief the next day, I was supposed to spend a day in Chicago, but that didn't work out because we stayed so long in Milwaukee. And by the time I got there, it was just nightmare. So then we get on the Southwest Chief, and in New Mexico, the train frickin' breaks down. And we end up, I forget where. I don't want to say Albuquerque. I'm going to get it wrong. Let me look. It's a big city, too. Amarillo? Is it Amarillo? No. Santa Fe, Las Cruces. No, Amarillo's in Texas, what I'm talking about. Gallup. So we're in Gallup, New Mexico, and the train breaks down on the way to Gallup. So we get there, and they come to find out they can't fix the train, so they have to get a freight train engine to pull us the rest of the way to Los Angeles. And they tell us point blank, this is going to slow us down incredibly because these trains only go a certain speed, and it's a lot slower than an Amtrak train. So we take off. We're supposed to be in Gallup, I'd say around noon, and be gone by 12:30. We didn't end up leaving there till 8 o'clock at night. So that was a nightmare. And we get about 20 miles down the road and had to go back to Gallup. I was asleep during all this, and I'm thinking I'm going to wake up in the morning and be just about in Los Angeles. We're supposed to be there like at, 8 in the morning, And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe we made up some time overnight, whatever. Maybe I'll make it there for my next train trip, which is at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No, I didn't even get into I didn't even get into Los Angeles till like 5 in the afternoon. My train was gone. I just got pissed. I got on the train. I got on a plane and flew home. That was the end of my round the world trip, or around the country. I just babbled on for like 5 minutes. Sorry. World Corner Briggs. If my dad gets a job, we're moving to Baltimore, Maryland. Any advice on where to move there? I did a video on Baltimore and what's up. I think I did what's up with Baltimore. Did I do that one? Anyway, I did recently a video on Baltimore. Watch that video. It'll kind of give you an idea of where the worst places to be. Baltimore's a city I honestly think that's turning around because there's a lot of tech jobs moving there. So is Huntsville a good place to live? Absolutely. Huntsville's, Alabama's got some issues, but Huntsville's not bad. I keep hoping Portland will get a Major League Baseball team. Any international trips planned? Not right now. Eventually there will be. Probably in it looks like in 2024, we'll be taking a cruise from New York to Reykjavik, Iceland, and Norway, and ending up in Dublin, Ireland, I believe. That's probably my next international one. That's not till 2024. And that's only a cruise, so it's not like I'm going to spend a week at some place. Best state for aliens to land in the U.S.? They decide to visit Earth. Well, they can go to Mississippi and then they can just blend in. Estonia. What was it? Thor was that. My son Thor, he was up there. Latvia. Yeah. He was in Latvia, not too far from Riga they were like there like 4 months training with the army. Jess, I missed it. Did he move yet? I asked that earlier. Sorry. Best states for Asian food. Good thought. Thoughts on Bigfoot? We'd know if there was really a Bigfoot by now. Yeah, I've been to the Low Country several times. What was it? Bluffton, South Carolina, Charleston, a couple other places. What's my favorite food while traveling? Pizza. I'm sure you will, Jess. I know you guys are close. Briggs and Stratton. You know how there's, besides the engines, Briggs and Stratton, there's a urinal company that makes stand-up urinals and urinals for guys' restrooms that say Briggs, and it's quite an adventure every time I go someplace and I get excited. Oh, hey, there's a Briggs here. Briggs, Atlanta, or Charlotte? I'd move to Charlotte first. States with the most movie theaters. Wow, that's kind of weird. Veracruz is really nice. It's not me, Seven. You have a great night. Suggestions. So we're going to start doing more of the What's Up With videos. What cities do you guys want to hear about? Yeah, Veracruz, yeah, it can get dangerous there. Most of Mexico could get dangerous, but it's still beautiful. Briggs is my actual name. Lakeland, Florida. Charleston, South Carolina. I want to do that one too. Flint water origins and solutions. San Antonio. I plan on doing San Antonio. I planned on doing it already, but I haven't got around to it yet. Santa Fe, San Diego. Places to retire if you don't like people. Alaska, Wyoming, Montana. North Dakota, probably too. Definitely if you don't like people. Maybe even the outback of Nevada. Voodoo Donuts, if I was still eating sugar, I'd go to Krispy Kreme long before I'd go to Voodoo Donuts. When, friends are in town, swing them by Voodoo Donuts. It's interesting. But at the end of the day, it's a normal donut that they just happen to put Captain Crunch on. Or bacon. Or shape one like a voodoo doll. Waco, Texas. I don't know enough about Dearborn to really give you a good answer off the top of my head. But I've never heard terrible things about Dearborn. I mean, Flint and Detroit are obviously going to be worse, but Dearborn's not the worst place. Ryan Dyer, thank you for supporting the channel. Early topic, but when a lot of live streams, YouTube promotes your other videos less. Happens to others all the time. That's that's kind of the vibe I get when you start doing too many live streams. So that's why I'll do one on this channel occasionally, but for the most part, I'll do them on my vlogging channel. Which, I do them because a lot of you guys like to hang out and stuff like this, and I do too because I like to talk. So, I still want to get it done. I just don't want to hurt this channel while I'm doing this, So, this is how I make my living on this channel. What's up with Barstow? That'll put some people to sleep. Best beaches in Texas. Leavenworth, Washington. That's a cute little town. I love Leavenworth. Atlanta. I already did Atlanta, what's up with, in case you haven't seen that one. But, Ryan, thanks for that information, and thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Hey, you guys, don't forget to hit the like button on this, too. Jorge Herrera, thank you for supporting the channel. Have I done Philly? I have not done Philly yet. I did one, worst neighborhoods in Philly a couple of years back. But I haven't done What's Up With yet. Floyd, VA, hippie, capital of the world. Okay. I've never heard that before. Thoughts on Oklahoma City? Oklahoma City's not that bad. It's a lot different from the rest of Oklahoma, which is kind of cool. Oklahoma City's not that bad. Ever done Dover, Delaware? No, I never have. Ooh, we have a new casual subscriber, the Reverend Rebecca Black. Thank you very much, Rebecca, for supporting the channel. Bellingham, Washington is not a bad place to live. Jaster, thank you for supporting the channel. Bombay Beach, Salt Slab City. Yeah, places. Oh my God, that could be pretty good. Places that have just fallen by the wayside. I have to figure out how to word that and what angle I want to go out, but that's interesting. Favorite city in the U.S.? Favorite city? City, Portland, it used to be. But now I think I like Chicago better. Would I live in Chicago? Probably not. Would I eat pizza and visit my friend Jess? Absolutely. You said West Virginia would be a great place to move if you're broke. Yeah, it definitely is. It's one of the cheapest states to live. If you're looking to get back up on your feet or get on your feet or whatever your situation is, West Virginia is a pretty good choice. If you work remotely, even though these states might have their problems, Mississippi and West Virginia are probably your best options because even though the states suck, right, they're still extremely cheap. But when I say they suck or they're bad, they've got some problems, but you could still live there and, it's not that bad. You're going to, sure, there might be more crime, or not even that. You're going to see more poverty in West Virginia and Mississippi than you will in just about any other state. And there's going to be, just little things. Still not a bad place to live. If you're working remotely, look at those two states. I'm telling you, you could live there for 3 years and buy a home. Buy a home like outright almost. Would I live in... No, I never lived in Slap City. I'm a creature of comfort now. My days of roughing it left when I left the Army. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of things. We got 338 people in here, and this chat is just whizzing by. You guys aren't seeing all the ones that are blocked, like I've said many times before. Best states for pizza. New York or Chicago. My opinion. What's the best city on the West Coast? My opinion, I think San Diego. I really do. Slab City, Sherry, is this place out in the California desert that I don't know. I forget what was there before. I know I've read it before. But now a bunch of people live out there in like their tiny homes. They're living off the grid. It's almost like a commune for people that decide to leave society. And they live out there and they live in campers and stuff like that. It's pretty much a hippie homeless camp where everyone's got campers or whatever. Used to be a military base of some sort, yeah. Used to be, they were called Nike missile air defense systems. And there were these missiles that were scattered all along the west coast of the United States. There was one not too far from my house. It's in the middle of the suburbs. Well, when they tore all that system down back in the 1970s, 60s, 70s, there's still the cement there, but they put a bunch of dirt on it and started growing trees. Now it's a place called Wilderness Park. But it's weird how sometimes, military bases just go away and new things pop up. Matter of fact, my original duty station in the Army, which was Fort Ord, California, is no longer a fort. It is now the University of Monterey Bay. Or the California University of Monterey Bay. Kevin Morales, thank you for supporting the channel. Really appreciate that. Crystal Lake, isn't that where Michael Myers from? From South Carolina. Will Robinson. Best city to get your mojo back. Ooh, good question. No, Fort Ord was Army, not USMC. We did have the Language Institute up there, which everyone went to. That's like a few miles away from Fort Ord. It's still there, but that took everyone. It's a language institute. It's where we taught all our interrogators and people like that. But I know a lot of. As a matter of fact, I know one Marine who went there to learn Arabic. And last I heard, he's pasty white as I am, but he teaches like Middle Eastern studies for a university now. Smart guy, Bob. Jason Ford, Chris Lake. There you go. Felice Herring. Yeah, I think she's done fighting. I know she blew out her knee not too long ago, 2-3 years ago, and I haven't seen her back in the game yet. Married a Marine, only spoke cheater. That's too bad. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I've never seen that response. Thanks, RV Boondocker. I appreciate that. Georgia or Florida? Myself, I'd go to Florida just because if I got to live in the South, it's going to be near the ocean. Will Robinson, Navy veteran. My dad's a Navy veteran. Where's my favorite beach located at? Redondo Beach, where I grew up. Love Redondo Beach. What's up? Do a what's up with Cincinnati video. Since he has changed since your last video. Yeah, it has. A lot of things going on in Cincinnati right now. I'll eventually get to Cincinnati. Single female. I hope West Virginia is safe. Gypsy Rose. Okay, I'm a single female. I hope West Virginia is safe. I want to get back on my feet again. Charleston is not that bad. So the cities of West Virginia, are they the best cities in the world? No. Are they horrible? No, not at all. They're not that bad. Um, I would definitely look at Charleston, though. Charleston's probably really good. So it's a good option, and it's not that expensive. Least favorite city in the U.S. I'm not a big fan of St. Louis. Every time I've gone there, it's just sucked. Donna Beach is fun. I grew up there. It is part of the South. I've never looked at it any other ways. Florida is part of the South as far as I'm concerned. I have been on the DC Beltway. When I was a kid, and I remember my dad getting irritated with it, and then later on, I remember driving on it and getting irritated. Most underrated state all around. Most underrated state all around. That's a good question. I would say, yeah, maybe West Virginia, but really, I think Missouri's an underrated state. Maybe Indiana. Unlivable, but yeah. 5 million people disappear like that. Yeah, so whether you believe humans are, the climate is changing. Whether humans are involved, that's the only thing that's up for debate, but it's going through its normal cycle. And it seems to be a little worse than it has, from what science tells us, in past centuries. So we're getting warmer. And places like Phoenix, which are extremely hot already, that most people won't live there because it's too hot, if it gets on average 4, 5 degrees hotter, people won't live in Phoenix anymore. So, yeah, we'll see how that works out. Thank you, Kat. Buffalo. I don't mind Buffalo. It's got some rough spots, but I like Buffalo. I mean, would I go there and hang out and live there? No. But, I mean, it's not the worst. I liked the vid. Yeah, everyone, make sure you like the video. Give it a big thumbs up. Did I miss anyone that... I'm kind of getting talking, and I think I'm missing things. Oh, but Jorge, thank you for supporting the channel. I think I got everyone. Here's one. Kevin Morales, thank you for supporting the channel. Jorge, again, love your video. Iowa, because I'm from... There you go. What if Virginia, West Virginia reunited? I knew I'd miss one. Andrew, what if Virginia and West Virginia reunited? I don't think West Virginia... I should say, I don't think Virginia would take them back. That's like a high school relationship that broke up, and, there's no fixing it. Or would you ever live in Iowa? I would not, Jorge. Powell, Wyoming. Chemtrails, climate change. Oddly enough, so one of the things that I was reading, I don't know how in-depth they are, but they had a suggestion of actually putting these reflector type things, like almost microscopic, in the air that would seed the clouds, which would reflect some of the sun rays and cool the planet down a little bit. That was one of the things they're looking at. As soon as I read that, I thought, there's your chemtrails. Everyone's going to think it's just chemtrails. But I also read one thing where they were talking about how algae, like this algae powder, could be put in the clouds that would do the same thing. And actually, as the algae came down in rain and stuff, it would almost work as a fertilizer for, crops out in Iowa and stuff like that. So, and I'm looking up here for some reason, and the camera's right there. I got this little light up here, and sometimes I find myself looking at that instead of the camera. So if you ever think I'm just fading away, that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Seed the clouds with algae, cools down the planet and fertilizes Iowa. Why not? Lincoln, Nebraska? It's okay. Will you do a road trip across America? You know, I think my days of driving across the United States are over. I don't think I want to really do that again. I will take the train back and forth every month if I had the chance. I love sitting on the train. I get work done. I get to see America. If I could just find a train that would stop overnight in big cities like they do in Canada, that'd be great. At least I think they do in Canada. I thought I read that. That, you know, their cross country train will stop at a big city overnight and then take off again in the morning. So I could be wrong. I thought I read one of their trains did that. I've not been to Kamloops. Best city to live in Texas. You know, that's debatable, but the northern side of Dallas has a lot of really nice places to live. I can't think of the ones I normally say right now, but I'm gonna Plano, Frisco, they're pretty good. Arlington, I like, also along with Fort Worth. If you want to live a nice, quiet life, Amarillo's not a bad place to live either. San Antonio, I like just because that's a pretty cool city. Austin, I think they got too many problems right now with their homeless and all that, so I don't think we need that. Is what free, Carl? Hanging out on this channel? It's absolutely free. Strip clubs question. Isn't that Portland? That strip club. Wait, oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss that one? Yes, Portland does. I imagine the question is what city has the most strip clubs, and per capita, it's Portland, followed by Tampa. And I'm not even joking. I did this one on most religious and least religious cities. Portland and Tampa are two cities that have the most strip clubs. They're also in the top five for the least church going residents. I'm not even kidding. Annapolis, Maryland. All right, how long have we been doing this? I'm getting a little punchy, guys. So I think I'm going to have to wind this one down. Um, Give me a couple more questions here. Why the hell do people care about strip clubs? They just do. With the most Karens. Bella, how are you? Kansas City, Missouri. Carl, favorite Amtrak train? I think the California Zephyr. I think one of the best trips you could do in the United States to see America is get on that train in Denver and go to like Reno or Sacramento. You'll see some of the best parts of the United States. You can start off in Chicago, but you're just going to see a bunch of flat land and like Iowa and stuff the first day. You can. Yes, there are more, Stephanie. There are more of those videos coming out. I just don't like to do too many of those in a row because then people get burnt out. But there'll probably be another one of those where you could live on Social Security next week sometime. A lot of people are kind of irritated with the formula I have because I'm not including like your medical and things like that. But all that stuff is different. This is just the bare basics, what you could survive on. And if you can't survive on that, then you're in retirement with a part-time job. That should get you by at least. Rocky. Hello, Sonia, Lola. Sherry, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching my videos. Without you guys, I'm just some dude that, travels around with a camera and says a lot of stupid crap. Does travel account for my seeming adaptable nature, or does adaptability cause you to be a traveler? My adaptability comes from I've always been able to talk fast, and I was a stand-up comedian, so I think that's part of it too. How does it feel to be 5'9"? Yeah, okay. I mean, I've been 5'9" since I was like 17. So, I mean, that's the only size I know. Pop quiz. In what Washington town was the show? Oh, Northern Exposure. I forget what it was. I know this, but I can't remember right now. Fun fact. Yeah, 5'9" is not bad when you're trying to get on an airplane. 6'3" or 6'4", 6'5", that's a pain in the butt to be on an airplane. Answer Roslyn. Okay. That's the band I love, Bon Iver. That's where they got the name from an episode of from Northern Exposure. It was the first snow of the year, and it's like this greeting that I guess French people give each other. But they came out and they were saying Bon Iver for the first snow or something like that. It's like Merry Christmas, but Idaho does exist. Best New England state for hiking outdoor activities: Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. Pick one. Those are the best ones, though, in my opinion. My favorite airline, I've done really good with Delta. Thoughts on San Fernando Valley? I grew up not too far from there, but I spent limited time there. I never really had a need to go to San Fernando Valley. I've been there a ton, but it's just there. Longest trip I've ever been on, depends on what you call a trip, but I've left and come back 2 weeks later for a trip for the channel and stuff like that. But I mean, I've been on trips in the military where I went someplace and was gone for a month and a half. Thank you, Jorge. Best beach in Oregon. I'm a big Cannon Beach fan. I love Cannon Beach. It's where if my wife has it her way, that's where we're moving when we retire. Will, thanks for hanging out. Ooh, I did a video on that. I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, the Zephyr, Reverend Rebecca Black. It is. It's a great trip. First video on the military. Oh yeah, that was a while back, wasn't it? Oh my God. I did that as a public service announcement. My son was just in the Army at the time. And I just thought, a lot of parents are in the dark about what's going on with their child when they join the Army, or even the kids thinking about joining the Army. So I did some videos on what you should expect, what you should do, and stuff like that. And if you know anyone that's going into the Army or something, and they go to the recruiter, and the recruiter tells them, oh, sorry, we don't have that job. Sorry, you're going to have to take this one. You don't have to take it. Walk away, come back a week later. And they'll give you all kinds of things. Oh, if you come back next week, we may not have anything for you. They'll always have something for you in the military. They kept trying to push my son into laundry, like cleaning, like stuff like that. And he wanted to go airborne and do the same stuff I did. And so we said, okay, well, we'll walk, and that's fine. The guy gave us the speech. Well, there might not be nothing tomorrow. I'm okay, well, then never mind. We just won't come back. And so my son just told me, yeah, this isn't going to work out. Sorry. And he got up to leave there. Oh, hold on a second. Let us make a call. And they got him what he wanted. Oh, I've been to Mexico many times. I used to surf down there all the time as a kid. All right, guys, I'm getting tired. I'm getting a little punchy. We're going to knock this one off for the evening. I very much appreciate you all coming and watching tonight. We'll probably do this again next week on my other channel. I'm not traveling, so we'll do it. And I will put a post on this channel letting you know where to go, in case you haven't ever been over to Life According to Briggs. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next week.